What is the fastest way you have seen someone ruin their life? Story 1. This is from someone who wrote into an advice column, but it has stuck with me these many years. The guy wrote about how he had begged his wife to swing with the couple next door. She was dead set against it, but he pestered her about it for a couple of years and she finally, reluctantly, agreed. When the time came, the guy was very disappointed to find the neighbor's wife was not as tight as he had anticipated. Meanwhile, his neighbor was giving his wife what looked to be an out-of-body experience. It made him extremely angry and resentful of his wife for enjoying it so much. I think he said something like, "I can't even look at her without wanting to punch her in the face." The columnist told him off and advised him to file for divorce. The guy wrote an update stating a few months after the swinging occurred, the neighbors divorced and his wife left him for the guy next door. They married soon after. He felt blindsided and betrayed. Story 2. Guy I went to middle school with met a 13-year-old on Fortnite and traveled from Pennsylvania to Georgia to try and hook up with him. Kid understandably got spooked and told the cops, who nailed him in a sting down there when he'd already traveled down. Turns out he had a collection of CP on his computers. Is currently doing 15, almost 10 years in federal prison. He had a good job in a private school and was a basketball coach, and well respected before then. The scary thing was that he was also a tutor at a special needs school on top of that, and if he'd wanted to take advantage of that he could have. As an aside, he was a complete douchebag to me since I wasn't one of the popular clique, so any tiny shred of sympathy I'd have for him was never there to begin with. Enjoy prison, Como. ETA, forgot the exact amount of time he was in for. Story 3. Not really that fast, but fast enough for how badly she ruined her life. Woman I knew got a near $500,000 windfall. She filed to divorce her husband, bought an expensive house, met a new guy, became his sugar mama, got engaged to him after learning she was pregnant. All of that was in less than a year. In less than a year she had no money left, made no investments except for the house. Her ex was suing her for full custody and attempted parental alienation, and her young fiancé no longer wanted to marry. And it wasn't because she was broke, there were still things to sell, but because she had become abusive towards him. By the way, ex-husband did get full custody because go figure she had been abusive towards him, and report from the new fiancé really helped out. I think she got supervised visits. Story 4. Ex-buddy of mine started fucking a 14-year-old, cause she was, by his own word, more mature than the women he was dating. He abandoned his son and GF to fuck this 14-year-old. Her parents found out. Now he's on a registry and can't see his son. His parents have partial custody instead of him. They share custody with the boy's mom. She's no better. She would let my ex-friend's parents watch her son, and she would run off and fuck random guys and do drugs. She even got knocked up by a dude who also bailed on her. I stopped talking to them both and moved states. Fuck that whole mess. I have other friends who murdered someone after stopping by to see me at work and chill. They murdered someone who stole weed from them. I have more, but it make me sad all my friends and ex-friends made such shit choices. Edit. He was 23, she was 14. His ex-GF was 22 and his son was 2 when he bailed/got arrested for being garbage. Story 5. A patient of mine when I was a student nurse. 19-year-old male, dove headfirst into unfamiliar body of water. Instant C3C for quadriplegic. I was assigned to him for an entire rotation on the rehab floor. His girlfriend came every evening for a few days, then skipped a day, then skipped a couple, then didn't come again the rest of the time I was assigned to him. He was heartbroken, but she was younger than him, and she looked very upset and scared whenever she was there. We had to clean him up after bowel movements, sometimes needed an enema to even have one. One day we were cleaning him, holding him over on his side so we could do it, and he broke down sobbing. It was so terrible. Over the years I've wondered what happened to him. Wish I had made a note of his name so I could have followed up. Maybe it didn't ruin his life. Look at Christopher Reeve. Good chance it did, though. Story 6. A friend of mine freshman year in college took all the money his dad had given him for college and bought a ring and proposed to his girlfriend, who was a senior in high school. She said she wanted to wait until she graduated, which he took as a no, and in a fit of anger, threw the ring into the nearby lake. His plan was his dad would be so happy he was getting married that he would reimburse all the money he had given him. Instead, the ring was gone, he had to drop out of college because he couldn't pay, and last I saw, he was working at a convenience store in town. Even though she said wait, she still tried to get back together with him afterwards, and he said no, you weren't interested when I proposed to you, you won't be interested again. Story 7. A friend became a manager where she worked, so her work friend became her employee. Dude was older than her by like 15 years and obsessed with her, but she had no idea. She was a friend of his family, an auntie to his kids. She would have brunch with his wife regularly. At one point, he got his hands on her keys while she was working and he had a copy made of her house key. He waited years for the opportunity to break into her house when she was away on holiday, and he was seen by a neighbor, who called her. He went from married with a happy family and a steady government job to divorced and unemployed. He lost his house and custody of his kids in the divorce and now lives in a one-bedroom apartment in another town. Story 8. This isn't like a single instance where a person fucked up their whole life in one go, but I was there for the domino that brought down the whole house. Was working at a gas station. Lady wanted smokes but didn't have her ID. I refused to make the sale. She was upset, got angry, stole a banana. Well, police frequented the store because it was the only one that was open 24 hours in the town. Cop watches her take the banana after her fit and promptly stops her in the parking lot before she can leave. At first, he was just going to have her return the banana as a sorta petty way to get back at her for being a huge bitch about the whole situation with the smokes. 5 minutes later, he's still got her stopped and 2 more squad cars roll up with their lights on. Turns out, lady had 8 warrants in 3 states for various drug and theft charges. She got taken in, ostensibly extradited to the other states for charges, and raked over the courts over a pack of Swisher Sweets and a fucking banana.